come back and say, oh, my children, they're weird. They're into these weird groups. They don't want to talk to me anymore. They don't want to engage. They're just going out with so-and-so, or they have a girlfriend, or they have a boyfriend, or they're thinking of a gender change, all that kind of nonsense. And they're wondering why. So then one would ask, since I'm a Muslim, does Islam recommend or suggest or order us to go into the homeschooling route? Well, yes. To some extent, yes. I wouldn't say yes as in black and white, but there is something you need to understand. You see, Islam is the only religion out there that challenges people to bring their proof, to bring their evidence, to think, to ask, to ponder, to question. And this is something that I've spoken about before, and I'll speak about it again. The Quran is God's word, right? It's a very short book. And so in the short book, it wouldn't make sense for God, the all-wise, all-knowing, to go out of his way to repeat a verse multiple times without purpose. Let me say that again. God will repeat a certain verse a few times because he's trying to get a message across, right? If there was no need to, he would just say it once and, all right, we've received it, good to go. But there's a problem with society. There's a problem with you and me. There's a problem with everybody. Is that do they not think? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ? Do they not ask? Do they not question? Do they not think? Do they not ponder? Why are these questions and then their variations repeated multiple times throughout the Quran? Because societies do not think, they do not question, they do not ask, and they do not ponder. There is a fundamental problem there. We just follow. We follow society, we follow authority, we follow what everybody else is doing, we follow our whims, we follow our desires. And the proof of that is, وَمَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. And that's a separate topic, but the idea is, and roughly translated, and he or she who takes their desires as their God, which is shirk. And that's a separate topic which we will talk about later, inshallah. But the idea is that yes, we do follow desires, we do follow societies, we do act out of fear, we do act out of greed, which are our emotions and our desires, yes or no? And so, the Quran does challenge. It says, bring your evidence. The Quran does say, ask, question, don't just accept, don't just roll over and take it. No, you must stand your ground, you must ask. And so homeschooling does just that. And that's my argument. Is that homeschooling comes out and says, no, I will not accept a system that was designed a long time ago by people I don't know to govern my children. The best blessing that I have after my religion is my family and my children. And I'm not just going to give them up 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 10 months of a year for about 10 years to a system that I know nothing of. I don't know why it was created. I don't know by who it was created. And I don't know for what purpose it was created. That would be ignorant of me. That would be selfish of me. And that would be kufr in the blessing. And by kufr here, I mean ungrateful. I would not do that. Inshallah, I don't do that. And so yes, Islam does to some extent teach us to follow the path of homeschooling. Interesting, isn't it? Because we're meant to ask a question, not just follow. And if we see an issue with the system, so you have a lot of people today that come back and say, oh, my children, they're weird. They're into these weird groups. They don't want to talk to me anymore. They don't want to engage. They're just going out with so-and-so, or they have a girlfriend, or they have a boyfriend, or they're thinking of a gender change, all that kind of nonsense. And they're wondering why. And how is this a common phenomenon across the world in different countries, different regions, different religions, themes, backgrounds? How is this a common phenomenon across everybody at the same time? And so you must ask, what is the common element across all these different regions at the same time? And there's a few, right? So you have the media, right? Through their movies, through their music, through their radio, through everything else that they're pushing out, right? Which is Western media being pushed out. This is obviously a plan of the shaitan, and it's a much longer topic again, but just to come back to this topic. The second thing is your schooling system, your fundamentals. So what is it you're teaching, or how is it you're shaping people's lives into, or the children, right? Into their perspective of how they should see things. You are actually giving your children away to a group of people who can shape their perspective on how they should decide what is right and what is wrong. They're the ones who are going to come out and say, well, no, you're wrong, Dad, because Islam doesn't teach that. I don't need Islam. I don't need you. I don't need whatever. I don't need this. I don't need that. My friends are doing this. I saw this person do this. I heard that person say that. And they go on social media and they have their, it's a problem. That is a pandemic. That is a true disease of the mind. You see, but then we subject our kids to that system. We say, well, I don't know. Allah yahdi. May Allah guide them. Of course, al-hidayah min Allah. Guidance is from God. And you do not guide whoever you want or whoever you love. God will guide whoever He wants. That's just true. But you also have to put in some effort, right? You can't just say, all right, let's just leave them and let's just see what God comes up with. You also must put the effort. And so you can't put your kid in a dangerous environment like that and say, well, God will take care of them. You should also be smart enough to provide the utmost, the best, most suitable environment for your children as best you can by what Allah has given you. And not take a selfish route out, not take an ignorant route out of that.